If you are experiencing foundation issues, get a free estimate from Ox Foundations.
We're joined this morning by Jim Jones, the co-director of Alabama Childhood Food Solutions here in Sylacauga. And Jim, good morning to you, sir.
Good morning, Jim.
Before we get started with our Q&A this morning, tell us a little bit about you had a health scare back in the spring.
Oh, back in the spring, I was working in our warehouse and suddenly had an onset of some moderate chest pain. We went to the doctor right away. They did some tests and did a 4-vessel bypass on my heart. And it's quite dramatic to wake up a day later with a zipper in your chest so that they can.
But you recovered very well.
Recovered extremely well. I can now walk 5 miles a day, but I have to hitchhike home.
That's a long haul right there. Talk about a little bit about Alabama Childhood Food Solutions and what it is and how long childhood food has been here in Sylacauga.
Oh, that I could talk for hours about that. Childhood Food is a local food pantry that provides food for children and adults. We've been in Sylacauga as Childhood Food for 7 years, and excitingly during all that time, God has provided. We are a faith-based group, sponsored by a number of churches, not just one religion or one church, but the community of churches throughout 5 counties. We work together with a number of other agencies to ensure as many people as possible will have food at the end of the day, especially the children, because that is our name.
When did you first begin to see that need and that prompting? We need an organization to take care of this.
Well, my wife and I had been on 25 short-term mission trips around the world, literally. And we had been in countries we saw hunger, we saw kids who didn't have enough food. They would scrounge from the garbage heap and do things, go visit with neighbors to try to find the food. And when we got back from one of those trips, I was driving right down Broadway and I saw that there were some hungry people here in Sylacauga. I said, I don't have to go to Africa or Brazil or Thailand just to feed people. For the money that it cost me to fly there and buy food, I can feed thousands of people in Sylacauga. And so we started with a few bags of food out of the back of our pickup truck. Very shortly we realized we had to have more space. We moved into just a self-storage unit that was 20 by 20. That lasted about 4 months, and we realized, well, there's still even more people. And we realized that there were 29,000 children in the 5-county area around us. Started in Talladega County, worked our way up to 5 counties, and it just continues to grow.
So how does it work?
It's exciting. We get food in from dozens and dozens of places. We're supported by a number of grocery stores. Publix, Winn-Dixie in Childersburg, Walmart in Chelsea is a big supporter of ours. Feeding America helps us through the Community Food Bank in Birmingham. And we get that food, we bring it to Sylacauga, sort it, freeze it if necessary, and then share it with families. Also, for our children's backpack ministry, we get the food in. We purchase a good portion of the food for children. The reason you purchase the food is you want all the bags to be alike. If you put an apple in bag A and a banana in bag B, kids will fight to see what food that they did get. And so we try to make our backpack uniform on a week-to-week basis. It seems to work out best that way. We have a total of about 7 to 8 items in each backpack each week, including beanie weenies or chicken soup or chili, plus 2 breakfast items and 2 dessert items. Essentially 7 to 8 meals that will carry a child over the weekend.
So isn't this not a weekday thing?
No, it's not just. Most children in our area, except for the smallest of infants, get food at school on a regular basis, sometimes 2 meals a day, but almost always 1 meal a day. And at the end of the week, they go home and there may be no food there at all. And that we call that food insecurity.
Have you seen that?
I've seen it. I have been in the homes where they had no food, no condiments, not even ketchup and mustard in the refrigerator. And when I see that, it just tears my heart in two. And we are continuing to strive to feed all of those who are food insecure. And as I said a minute ago, food insecurity is not knowing when, where, or if you will have another meal. It's not just being hungry for right now. It's the chronic lack of food in the home that causes kids to become food insecure. You will see, more often than not, you will see an obese child. When they do get food, they try to get as much as possible, and they eat possibly the wrong kind of food. Mm-hmm. They eat only the high-calorie, high-fat foods, and so they begin to get a little bigger than you would expect for their age group. It's really exciting to see and hear from the leaders in the schools what happens when children have a constant and secure source of food. If they get food at schools during the week and then we provide food over the weekend, they're ready to go back to school mm-hmm. on Monday morning. They have been able to do their homework. They have been able to sleep because their little tummies weren't gnawing at their backbones. Mm-hmm. And it provides a better education for the kids. They don't have to worry all the week. They go to school sleepy. They get food at school, go back to sleep. So they miss part of the day. But by having a consistent source of food, they pay attention better. They make better grades by as much as 3%. There is a lot less juvenile crime in the groups of kids that we feed than those who we have not been able to get to yet, and we will go there.
You're not only feeding children, adults. I mean, this thing has just blossomed into, I don't know how you get your arms around it.
Well, sometimes we do have a little problem with that. We are feeding over 2,000 children on a regular basis. And then we feed 750 families on a once a month basis by appointment. The reason we do it by appointment is that we only have food for 750 families. That sounds like a gigantic number, but that includes over 2,100 individuals in those families. By supplementing their food source at the home, children are served, senior adults are served, single parent families mm-hmm. who may have 3 or more children in the home. They need help. They can, an $8 to $10 an hour job will not provide all of the needs for a family, and we are trying to supplement one of their gross needs. There are 5 basic needs that most every family has: shelter, food, health care, education, and then transportation. And by helping families with their food needs, they can focus on the shelter and transportation so that they can get out and earn a good living. The senior adults are especially hard hit.
There's a big group of those too here.
A lot of senior adults. And I'm talking about people who are over 65 mm-hmm. who may get a Social Security check of only $500 a month. In addition to that, they may only get $20 to $25 in supplemental food nutrition coupons, which are the old food stamps. With that, they just run out of money toward the end of the month. So we give them, all of those groups, food. We also find that some of the veterans have not been able to use the small incomes that they have best, and so we feed veterans, single parent families, senior adults, and try to make their life a little better as we go. There are no requirements that you have to come and sit and listen to this or listen to that. If you have a need for hunger and can get an appointment with us, we're going to give you enough food. It's about a full grocery basket. It's the equivalent, each month we give away the equivalent of 8,400 grocery baskets full of food. And I get really excited and start to smile a lot when I think that I am and our 500 volunteers are a part of caring for those in our neighborhood. The food is not going off to Mississippi or California. The food that we get in goes to people that you know and people that you see as you drive down the street or as you go to the grocery stores. These are people that you see. Sometimes you can't identify their need unless you stop and hear their story. Part of life is understanding other people's story. Mm-hmm. And we take a lot of time to listen to people. How did you get to a point that you need some assistance in life? Many of these senior adults especially worked hard all their life. They tried to save as best they could. They had to raise their families and get them out the door. But then there comes a time in life when they really need help themselves. And as a group, childhood food is able to walk with them and make a difference in their life. It's a big deal.
Wow. That's a pretty good grocery bill, feeding 4,000 people now.
You should say it's a big grocery bill. Our grocery bill is about $35,000 a month. And that does not include all of the things that we glean from 5 grocery stores along the 280 corridor to Birmingham.
Where's the money come from?
The money, it comes from heaven, as far as I'm concerned. But 38 churches that walk with us of all denominations in our area and in Chelsea and Birmingham area. Some of the biggest ones, Marble City Baptist Church here provides our building. And then Double Oak Community Church in Mount Laurel and Chelsea, they have 2 campuses. They provide a lot of the cash money that we need. Even the United Methodist Church of Helena provides a good sample of food. And a lot of the churches in our immediate area send as much as they can, sometimes as much as 1% of their budget. So if you add a lot of $5 and $10 together, it comes to the amount that it is required for us to be able to share the food.
Wow.
The food, go ahead.
Once you get the food, the work really just begins, isn't it?
We have a crew of about 40 volunteers on a daily basis. We get food in from the grocery stores and from the food.
They get paid no money.
No money. Nobody gets any money. It's an all-volunteer organization. Every dollar that we put in, and we'll mention this again later today, I can get 4 meals out of $1 for some child or some senior adult. And so every dollar that comes in splits into 4 meals, and with $35,000 coming in, we can feed a lot of people pretty quickly. As we get food in, we have 2 vans and refrigerated trailers that bring the food from Birmingham back here. Then we have a team that sorts the food, puts it in the appropriate storage location, either our walk-in cooler, which is bigger than most kitchens, or our walk-in freezer, which you could park 2 pickup trucks in if you needed to. We get a lot of really good food. Most all of our food is short-dated until we freeze it. Once you freeze food, it will last for a long time. Then we can give it away in a timely manner, in a calm manner, on bi-weekly, so that the people will have food throughout the month.
Jim Jones, who is co-director along with his wife Linda of Alabama Childhood Food Solutions, and I guess she's already going to work this morning, huh?
Well, Tuesday happens to be our day of, quote, rest. On Tuesday, we go to Birmingham and pick up extra food here and there, go to Flowers Bakery, or we'll go over to the food bank and pick up a truck or load or 2. And so we're basically laboring about 6 days a week. But Tuesday we don't open the door at the warehouse, which makes
How do you get the food to the children and adults?
Oh, it's a unique operation. We get the food in on Monday. On Tuesday we go and glean the food from other stores and things. Monday we still pack the food into moderate-sized containers. And on Wednesday, we send it out to the schools by individuals using their private cars or one of our vehicles. And at the schools, some of the club members or class members from under classes will put the food into individual bags. And on Friday, the teacher discreetly puts the food into the children's backpack. However, the children are so excited to get the food on Friday that they'll run down the school hall. I got my food. I got my food, and it's exciting to them. And there appears to be no bullying or anything based on the fact that this child gets food, and because there's a need, and that the other children who may not need the food nearly as much. It is a calm situation.
You got to have a plan, because you got all these families and children that are in need of food. How do you get them the food?
Well, we just described getting the children the food. We invite the adults to come to our warehouse on what we call distribution days. That's the first and third Thursday. They come by appointment, and we'll have 350 plus families on the first Thursday, and then an additional 350 on the third Thursday. We have them come there, and we use what is called a market system. We have the food displayed similarly to what would be done in a grocery store. We offer them about 20 pounds of meat. We offer them fresh vegetables, bakery and bread that have been frozen because it keeps better frozen. And then we offer them canned goods, fresh vegetables, fresh citrus fruit, ice cream, even Bluebell here in Sylacauga. From time to time they'll have an overrun, and they'll give us a few pallets of ice cream so that we can give 350 families a half a gallon of ice cream. The local community is very supportive in caring for the hungry. And of course we always need more support as different groups. They support us for a few years and then they find that they need to help in the community. Mm-hmm. So our donor base rotates a little bit through the community, and we're so excited that Sylacauga cares for its own and those around us. We've had some people wonder, well, you got that food in Sylacauga and you gave it to somebody in Anniston. That's true, but that Anniston is part of our Jerusalem, and we care for the people around us. We give food to the kids in Coosa County. There's several hundred kids in the Coosa County school system that, if it were not for us, would have no food. We have seen kids who got the only food they got in the home for as much as 14 months was the single bag of food that we provided. And these stories are just heartbreaking, because if a kid is hungry, I want to do something about it. And I don't have to wait for the government to take action. I don't have to wait for a single group to take action. By combining our resources, we can make a difference in our community on our own.
Now you got a actual food hotline that people call, right?
Absolutely. The food hotline, and we'll give out that number, 256-346-3490. It's a recording, but you can call there and ask for an appointment. You leave your name and address and phone number. Well, you don't have to leave your address, just name and phone number. And if we can get you added to our appointment list, we will. Someone will get back to you very quickly. We'll give that number again later, if that's okay. How do people make donations? Donations is very simple. You can either go online and visit us at alabamachildhoodfood.com, make your donation right there, or you can send us a donation at our office address, 205 Old Home Place, Alpine, 35014. Or you can just call me up on my cell phone and we'll tell you how to get the money to us. Or if you have extra produce from your garden, we take that. We don't like roadkill, but we have had people give us a couple of deer in the appropriate season. And we've accepted other animal products from the local community. We have one family that gives us a hog to be processed each year, so that it adds to the amount of food that we can distribute on a regular basis. It's not uncommon for us to give away 30,000 pounds of food in a single day. And when I say a single day, our distribution lasts about 4 hours. It is a line that moves faster than any grocery store you've seen. Once we have you registered, we can give you 85 to 100 pounds of food in less than 5 minutes. And you just walk along and you say, I like butter beans or I like ham, and we go take care of that need for that family. You have a charge that has been given you by a higher power. Absolutely.
And you guys take that charge seriously.
We take it very seriously. It's my duty to feed the people around me. I have food on my table. I don't have to take any salary for the work that we do. My family and when I say my family, that's true. We have 5 boys and a girl, and then their spouses, and they come and work at the warehouse. And we have people from churches all over Central Alabama that come. Yesterday we had 6 people from Birmingham here working, helping us to get the food ready to go out. It is a family affair. But God has charged us specifically this is my food. You should give it to those who are hungry in our area. And I believe that we can stamp out hunger in the Sylacauga, Talladega County, Coosa County, southern Shelby County in our lifetime, maybe in the next 5 years, with contributions from around the community in the 5 counties. We will make a difference.
And there are certain events that you guys are involved in to help raise funds. You got a golf tournament coming up soon.
We do have a golf tournament coming up October the 1st. It'll be at Pine Tree Country Club in Birmingham. We picked that venue because we have a lot of corporate sponsors that will walk with us, and they need some time off occasionally. And we'll probably raise a moderate amount of funds through that golf tournament. There's also some students in the Talladega County school system that have several projects going on right now. One, Socket to Hunger. They bring all of their change from the students in each of the 17 schools for a month. And even a child can come up with 50 or 60 cents in a month. And that has been raising about $4,000 to $5,000 a year. Annie Osmond has been on this program, and last year when we got the $4,000 or $5,000 in, and her first cousin, John David Barnett, will be raising those funds again. We also have some other programs that we'll be telling people about over the next month, and we're excited to know that the school system works together with us to help feed the kids. And they'll be doing a food drive in the county schools that will help considerably. When I say a food drive, even a small food drive where you would bring the non-perishable foods from your house to our warehouse is very valuable. You know, one to 2 cans of food will make a meal for a family that's hungry.
No doubt about it.
And we're excited that we walk together with all the school systems, almost near and far, as far over as Randolph County and Calhoun County, trying to make a difference in the children's life. If we can keep children in school, get them the education that they need, this community will be better over the course of our lifetimes. And it may be that we could be on the other side of the table at some point. So we do need a lot of donations.
Give that food hotline number again.
The food hotline number is 256-346-3490. 256-346-3490. Someone will get back to you if we get an appointment time.
Finally, this morning, I know there are many stories, success stories, but try to glean one that really has stood out in your mind that was really a dire need, and you're able to help people, and it's just something that has just stuck with you.
I had a young family in Childersburg. The father had been healthy and doing well. He had an accident away from work and was no longer able to work. They had 4 kids in the family. They had them in school, and they were able to find shelter in a camper, which was parked near the river in Childersburg. But they had some minor success in their life, and so they moved the camper one lot over, so their address changed. By nature of the laws in our state from food stamps, because they moved from one location to another, some 60 feet, they cut off their food stamps.
Oh, wow.
Suddenly the 4 children, mama and the daddy, were without employment, were without food stamps, without the money to pay for their camper that they were living in. And the little boy, who was 6 at the time, was smart enough to go to his teacher and said, "We don't have any food, we don't have any money. Can you get us help?" And of course the teacher knew to call Alabama Childhood Food, and we do care for some urgent situations where people have a fire, or they lose their job, or they're in an accident of some kind, and we will help with those food situations. But going back to our story, the 6-year-old saved his family, in my opinion, by asking for help. Sometimes you don't know that you need help until you really get down to the last minute. I encourage people to call us. If you're hungry on Friday, you'll know that you're still going to be hungry Saturday. Mm-hmm. It's better to call Friday than when there's nobody available to help you. So we take urgent calls from time to time, and you don't know where you will be on any given day. You could be rich today, and tomorrow you'll be without. Most of us, even though they tell us to keep a 3-month cache of money on hand, pretty difficult to do in some situations. And we see dozens and dozens of families who get down to not one drop of food or water, or, well, they got water, but no milk or no ketchup or mustard. Have one family that survived 4 days on nothing but ketchup and water as their primary food.
That is mind-boggling.
It hurts in a time that there's so much actually out here if you just know where to go get it. And we want to be part of that center in this community. When I say this community, it includes the 5 counties around Sylacauga.
Jim Jones, co-director, along with his wife Linda, of Alabama Childhood Food Solutions right here in Sylacauga, Alabama. And one more time before we go, give that food hotline and tell them how it works.
256-346-3490. It's a recorded message. Someone will call you back if we can give you an appointment. The appointments will include coming to our warehouse, picking up food that should last you for a week or more. And as we, on a monthly basis, serve thousands of basket loads of food, we'd like to help you and your family if we can get you an appointment.
All right, Jim, thanks so much for being with us this morning.
Thank you.
Jim Jones, co-director, along with his wife Linda, of Alabama Childhood Food Solutions here in Sylacauga. Quick break, we'll be back to close things out right after this.